So I just got done repotting this Kentucky coffee tree, and this one here I decided to go to with a wide, shorter pot. So I didn't have to adjust the level that it was planted compared to, you know, the size pot it was in. I just loosened up the ones at the base, the roots at the base, to like spread them. So it's going to be a wider rather than a deeper grown. But also compare that to the two last year. Last year, you know, they were year and a half seedlings or something like that. And two of the ones that were faster growing, I put in these bottomless pots. Now, these will have a really good root system because it will airproof when it gets down to the base. That's nice. But also you got to make sure that you pull them off their spots in the nursery every so often. Otherwise, they'll spend too much of their energy getting into the dirt, which will be transplant shocked when you pull it up to go sell it. But anyhow, that's what I did. So this size here is probably, I'm going to have to repot this up too, because that's getting too big for that pot. You know, they're coming out the bottom. And I'll probably switch them over to regular trade gallon size. But this one here I decided to put in a wider pot. And and this here, sometimes certain annuals or short-lived perennials or biennials will volunteer in pots. And depending on what they are, I might leave them. Like here we have a tall bellflower that volunteered. The seeds volunteered in there. Now, this is a biennial, so the first year it's going to just have leaves, and then the second year it's going to shoot up along tall stalks, or one stalk branched, and have violet blue flowers from midsummer all the way till late fall, depending on how much energy it's gained up and how much it's already seeded, you know, in the process. You know, deadheading and trimming stuff can always prolong the blooms. But and then this was a swamp marigold that I trimmed the top because I didn't want it to compete with light for this, but I left it there just in case if I plant it someplace soon and it's in a wet area or kind of shaded area, that would be good, because this will have some nice flowers in September. That is on the top 20 list for, according to the Xeric Society, for monarch butterflies, feeding them. But it's an annual, so it's going to take a lot of energy real fast. So that one I might pull out. I might not, depending on if this tree gets planted this year. And then this here, this is something that I'm really enjoying. This and partridge pea are probably the two that I enjoy the most when they volunteer, because this is hog peanut. It's going to grow up this tree, you know, and it's an annual, but it's bulblets or corbs or whatever you want to call it, can go to the next year. But because it fixes nitrogen, it's just going to help this tree grow. You know, why pull it out? Same with partridge pea. Partridge pea helps it grow because it fixes nitrogen, so why bother pulling it out? But generally, if a lot of the trees in a certain run, you know, when I say run, I mean crop harvest, whatever term you want to use, because I grow small numbers here, so it will be, you know, 3 to 30, let's say, for every species I grow. I just, you know, usually grow small numbers unless there's a project plan beforehand. But if a bunch of them have volunteers in it, I'll probably thin them out so half of them will have no volunteers at the base and half of them will, because to some degree it's still going to take some nutrients from the growth of the tree, so it might be better without. At the same time, with later succession trees, there's mycorrhiza that can be, you know, transferred from different plants to each other, and also if it's planted in a restoration area, then you're planting a plant that would go most likely, depending on the situation, most likely go in that restoration anyhow. So it's helpful. And if it's going in somebody's yard and I point out what it is, then they get a freebie. So there's a kind of balance off. And like I said, if it fixes nitrogen, then that's helpful for the speed. But even though it's still going to take some amount of potassium and phosphorus from it. But of course, I never let them be too filled with too many volunteers, because then the plant's not going to grow. You know. So that's what they look like, and then they're going to end up, oh, look, there's a miniature panther there. Then they're going to eventually look like this tree here. Cast some light shade during the summer. And all this time when I was potting and talking about this video, I have a long-tailed bobcat right there, sitting in the black raspberry thicket. She's watching me, likes to be by me. Right? Princess Oxamite. And then over there is a potak. It's a potak, the little squirt.